Listen close. Even after Anthony Joshua completely destroyed Jake Paul, breaking his jaw and shutting down that entire wild circus of hype, guess what's happening now? Logan Paul is out here stepping up and calling out AJ for a fight.
So, now I gotta kick his ass. But yo, I'm aware of the public sentiment on this fight. I got the whole world against me, but luckily for me, I believe what I believe.
Yeah, you heard that right. Let's not twist this. Logan's move isn't about confidence or courage, it's pure provocation. Joshua wrecked one brother like it was nothing, and now the other one's stepping into the fire thinking he's built different. This isn't bravery, it's madness wrapped in clout chasing. The gap in skill, power, and danger here is just insane.
I only hit him 4 times. So, bro, fuck those fucking stats. Whoever's counting.
I know a lot of straight up boxers, and they absolutely felt that way.
Yeah.
This is what needed to happen.
Watching this unfold feels unreal. The sports world, especially those deep in the boxing scene, aren't even trying to sugarcoat it. And honestly, why should they? Everyone knows the deal. AJ isn't just any heavyweight. He's a machine built for domination, a walking storm inside the ropes. Now imagine Logan Paul, a guy who spent more time promoting energy drinks and podcast clips than trading punches with real fighters standing across from Joshua. It's not just bold, it's borderline reckless. If Jake Paul, who actually trained with legit pros, ended up with a broken jaw and a humiliating loss, then what's Logan even thinking stepping into that same nightmare?
Nothing to lose against a guy who's got literally everything to lose. If I knock this dude out, because all it takes is one punch in the right spot.
Then Logan stepping up and calling out AJ just shows how massive this gap really is. We're talking a canyon in skill and power, not a crack in the sidewalk. This isn't some revenge saga waiting for a plot twist. It's the same script running back, only louder, scarier, and way more dangerous if it actually happens. That's not hype. That's a red flag waving like crazy.
It would be the first time ever that 2 brothers were hospitalized by the same man. Avenge his brother or join him in the hospital? Box Score Sports Bible. Let me counterpunch. I think that Logan Paul fighting AJ, or should I say AJ fighting Logan Paul, would be more of a mismatch than Jake Paul. You know what I mean? Because at least Jake Paul has taken boxing or has trained with real boxing trainers in real boxes. Whereas Logan Paul, he did that exhibition with Floyd, and Floyd's a little
And
guy.
here's the real clue. Jake Paul, fresh off that bruising lesson, is basically sending a warning to his own brother right now. He felt what elite level power actually is in a real pro fight, and now he's spelling it out, talking about boxing, posting tough clips, throwing trash talk. That's one world, but living boxing, walking into that ring, and dealing with real consequences is a whole different planet.
I mean, it's not that hard to get your ass beat.
He's not being dramatic, he's being honest because he's lived it and paid for it. If you haven't been in the trenches, haven't eaten that grind, haven't taken those shots that rattle your bones, calling out Anthony Joshua isn't confidence, it's risky ignorance dressed up as courage. Jake's been down that road and knows exactly where it leads.
This is why I go back to, if you've never been in the ring.
Which is why his warning hits so hard and sounds so serious right now. Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, is blasting Logan Paul for even daring to bring up Anthony Joshua's name, and he's not sugarcoating a thing. Fury spells it out. Logan calling out AJ isn't bravery. It's a wild fantasy dressed up like courage, and everyone can see it. No, it's pure delusion, is basically the message from Fury, and he keeps it plain and sharp. If Logan really wants that smoke, if he's truly serious about testing himself, then line up against real heavyweights, the guys who live this life every day, not just chase headlines for clicks and attention, according to Fury. Fury says this kind of chatter disrespects the sport and shows how far Logan is from the hard truth of elite competition, and that's a harsh reality check.
How could you call out Anthony Joshua and Gervonta Davis? It's like fucking that end of the scale and this end of the scale.
It's a wake-up call sitting right there, if Logan chooses to hear it, because the ring doesn't care about clout, only craft and consequences. Even Tony Bellew, a seasoned boxing mind, is shaking his head at the audacity of the whole idea, and he's not dressing it up nice either. He calls it pure madness and admits he can't even picture Logan standing across from a force like Anthony Joshua without the matchup looking dangerously one-sided. This isn't about hype confidence, it's about cold facts, period. The levels here are worlds apart. The gap in skill, power, and experience is gigantic, so the idea of this fight doesn't just feel unlikely, it barely feels believable at all. This reads like a headline stunt, not a real sporting matchup, more fantasy than fight night, and everybody can see it. Duke McKenzie, known for straight talk, doesn't hold back for a second, and he lets it fly. He flat out labels Logan Paul's call-out as pathetic, pointing to what the boxing crowd already knows. This isn't a level game, and pretending it is just disrespects the craft. Logan Paul isn't a real pro in the strict sense, and that matters a lot in this sport with real tiers and a hard ladder to climb. He's deep out of his depth here, and stepping in with a fighter of Anthony Joshua's caliber wouldn't be ambitious. It would be reckless showboating. You earn nights like that with years of grind and scars, not sound bites and dares. It would be a wildly unrealistic move with real risk attached, the kind of stunt that could end in serious consequences.
They said, and everybody knows, he's not a real boxer. There's levels to this game, and he was way out of his level.
And then there's the voice that nails the chaos perfectly. You can hear the exhaustion in every word, like even trying to process what Logan Paul is thinking is a headache by itself. Calling out a legitimate champion like Joshua had people like Frock not hesitating, immediately labeling the whole thing a clown world and a total farce. And he's saying this isn't even sport anymore, it's turned into an undignified spectacle built just to grab attention. The idea that Logan could meet AJ in a real competitive fight feels like a straight-up joke. A loud reminder of how far this call-out is from the hard reality of pro boxing. The gap isn't hype, it's heavy and it's dangerous. Roosh keeps it raw and swings hard, breaking down the mess around Logan Paul's bold call-out with no filter at all. He's not tiptoeing. He's saying this whole scene is chaos and the energy around it is straight reckless. He frames the moment as a clown world.
Talk bullshit, but where does he go from here? What does he do? I'm not even arsed, man. I can't be arsed with this bullshit anymore, this clown world. It's a joke shop.
Stressing how far this challenge is from the real grind of elite boxing, where discipline, brutal experience, and razor-sharp skill are the only currency that counts. Calling out someone of Anthony Joshua's level without those tools isn't confidence. It's playing pretend with real danger on the line. It's not just risky, it's dangerously reckless. Frosh says this isn't hype, it's a spectacle that cuts into the sport's seriousness and integrity, putting show over substance and missing what the fight game actually demands. It shows how far Logan is from understanding what it really takes to stand at the top, and that gap isn't fixed by noise or views. Fans, he says, should treat this as a caution sign, not casual entertainment. This stuff has real consequences, not just viral clips. And Johnny Nelson steps in with a clean reality check too, calling out how Logan is clearly overrating his own skills and aiming way above his weight class right now. He's not hating. He's being honest, reminding everyone that the ring respects work, not wishful thinking. After watching the fallout from Joshua's recent fights, especially that brutal, decisive win over Jake Paul, Johnny Nelson makes it plain. AJ set the gold standard in the heavyweight game, period. Any idea, any quick daydream about stepping into that ring without a razor-sharp, fully refined skill set is straight delusion. This pro breakdown shows just how unready Logan really is, and it comes off like a loud warning siren. Proven results and hard, relentless training count way more than flashy clips or loud captions when you're staring across at an elite hitter like AJ.
I would. I think he's had a reality check today to think, you know what, I've rinsed.
Ariel, with his signature flair, paints the scene in bold strokes and doesn't sugarcoat a thing. He lays out Anthony Joshua's raw power and clean technique like a highlight reel you can feel in your chest. Every punch from AJ carries danger. That vicious right hand can end a night in a blink, and the left hook snaps heads and respect at the same time. Even veterans flinch watching him work, and just seeing the tape makes you feel those shots thudding through the screen. This commentary makes it crystal clear why Logan Paul's call-out is wildly unrealistic. We're talking fantasy, not matchmaking. Joshua is a prime heavyweight with long reach, bone-rattling power, and clean technique that breaks opponents down, and Ariel's insight underscores the real, life-changing risk Logan would be walking into. Stepping in with AJ isn't ambitious, it's flirting with reckless danger, a situation that could end in a heartbeat if it ever got real.
And every time he threw a punch, I like winced, because he's a big man and he's an incredible boxer and he's still in his prime, and he's got a very long reach, and he's got a lot of power in that right hand, and that left hook is terrifying as well, and so I thought it could end at any.
And look at the timing. Anthony Joshua's intense return to training after his recent car crash is a loud signal that he's locked in, focused, and gearing up for serious business, not sideshows. He's dialed in and prepping for truly elite opposition, full stop. Think names like Fabio Wardley or even the formidable Tyson Fury. AJ is rebuilding momentum with hard, unyielding intensity, and that makes Logan's call-out look even more more out of touch. Joshua isn't distracted, he isn't shaky, and he definitely isn't cruising. He's in peak condition and sharpening up like a pro on a mission. For anyone watching closely, the context says it all. A matchup with Logan wouldn't just be one-sided, it would be a severe mismatch against a world-class athlete at the top of his game. This isn't about clout or captions, this is the highest level, with real risk and real consequences, and that gap can't be closed with talk. Johnny Nelson, with that steady wisdom he's known for, drops a sobering reality check on all the hype and non-stop call-outs flying around boxing right now. He reminds everyone that life is fragile, it can flip in a second, and that truth hits harder than any promo clip.
No, Joe, it's just sad. It just makes you realise how valuable life is and how things can change in a heartbeat. So when we talk about fights and we talk about beefs and these things are just nothing when it comes to real life and losing your life. So it was a sad thing to hear, sad thing to see. God knows how it'll affect those that saw it mentally, emotionally. But you've got to think about these two men were somebody's child, someone's brother, and that's what you've got to think about, those people that have lost their lives.
This goes way beyond the bright lights and the drama of Fight Night, and he makes that clear. While fans might argue about a fantasy matchup like Logan Paul versus Anthony Joshua, Nelson brings it back to the human side. These men are sons and brothers, real people in real families who carry the emotional weight of every punch and every risk they take. This isn't just sport, he says. It's real life with real consequences, and that matters more than trending topics or viral moments. His message is professional and sharp. Reckless callouts aimed at someone as undeniably dangerous as AJ aren't entertainment. They're risky moves with stakes way higher than any headline could ever show. So when folks get caught up in the noise, Nelson's point stands tall. Respect the craft, respect the danger, and remember there's more on the line than likes and views. Respecting the sport and the fighter's basic humanity is non-negotiable, period. That's day one respect. Logan Paul stepping up without that deeper understanding just shows how far some challenges drift from the real world of combat, where consequences are heavy and very real. Dana White brings a cold, practical reality check that cuts through the noise.
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys you're the same size. When you fought Floyd, you are massive. He did hit you with a fucking bomb.
Size, experience, and proper matchups aren't optional. They're the rules of survival in combat sports. Fighters should face opponents who match their size and skill level because that's how you keep it real and keep it safe. And that's exactly what gets skipped when someone brazenly calls out Anthony Joshua. AJ has dealt with world-class operators for years. Long reach, heavy hands, tight technique, and he's handled elite pressure without folding, which is a different planet from influencer sparring sessions. By contrast, Logan would be walking into something not just uneven, but wildly lopsided, and that's not bravado, that's a bad setup with serious downside written all over it. This isn't about hate or cheap talk. It's about a clear-eyed read of the gap in raw physicality, ring craft, and high-level boxing IQ that decides who gets touched and who takes over. When the margins are razor-thin at the top, rolling in undercooked isn't bold, it's risky business with real stakes, and that's the part the internet hype always forgets. White's take cuts sharp. Mismatched fights aren't entertaining. They're flat-out dangerous, and calling out elite heavyweights without real prep is reckless, period. He spells out the self-made risk Logan is putting on his own head, and it's a warning, not a headline grab. Mackenzie keeps the concern real and doesn't sugarcoat a syllable, laying out the grim possibilities with straight talk and zero fluff. He's not being dramatic. He's spelling out what happens when hype runs ahead of skill, and the consequences aren't theory, they're real. He points right to Jake Paul's broken jaw against Anthony Joshua and reminds everyone how lucky it was that it didn't get even worse. Because it easily could have, and that's the part people forget when they chase buzz over balance. That's not just a scare line, that's cause and effect in the fight game, clear as day. Mackenzie's core point lands cold. Logan's call-out isn't just unrealistic, it's a high-risk bet that invites disaster into the ring. AJ's dominance is steady and unforgiving, and stepping in without the right experience or polished skill set would be a huge misread with serious consequences written all over it. This isn't hate, it's a reality check meant to keep things fair, safe, and real. Life-changing outcomes are on the line here, and Mackenzie's blunt take drives it home. Boxing is built on respect, levels, and surgical precision, not flashy dares thrown at elite champs like AJ without the chops to back it up. Reckless callouts ignore the human cost and the brutal standard it takes just to survive out there.
Challenge. Anthony Joshua, I think that he needed to get the job done inside the distance, and he done it. Look, he could have done it at any given point. I think that he could have cut the ring off whenever he wanted to and got Jake Paul out of there. He took his time on that. He allowed Jake Paul to run around like a rabbit and throw the occasional shot from time to time. And I think he only landed one clean punch, didn't he, Anthony Joshua? And that was the one that broke his jaw in 2 places.
Let alone shine. In the professional ring, there's no shortcuts, no pretending, only skill, discipline, and consequences that land hard. Spencer Oliver breaks down how Anthony Joshua handled the Jake Paul fight with a cold, methodical approach, showing exactly how superior he was in every lane of the matchup. It wasn't chaos, it was control from bell to bell. Oliver points out how Joshua owned the distance, cut the ring with precision, and let Jake burn gas while he waited for the right windows, then snapped off clean, decisive shots at the perfect time. That broken jaw wasn't some lucky bounce. It was calculated, clinical work that you can't fake in there. Oliver's analysis spells out the gap plain. Logan stepping up now means walking straight into extreme danger, because AJ isn't only powerful, he's sharp, patient, and brutally efficient with his reads and timing. Trying to challenge that without years of real ringcraft is acting like experience doesn't matter, turning the call-out into a spectacle for clicks instead of a real legit contest. Across the sport, this Logan Paul versus Anthony Joshua talk has stirred a storm, but the reality stays the same. This is elite territory where precision rules and the margin for error is tiny. The message is loud without the drama. Respect the levels, respect the risk, and understand what you're really asking for when you say that name. But here's the crucial takeaway. The experts are almost all saying the same thing. This wouldn't be a matchup of equal skill, not even close. It's a headline play powered by ego and noise. Tyson Fury is tearing into the idea with that straight-up blunt style, while Johnny Nelson is dropping a serious warning about the real punishment the ring can hand out, and none of that is hype. Then you've got Duke McKenzie and Spencer Oliver breaking it down with precision. AJ's dominance is clear and the risks are heavy for anyone not built for that level. Anthony Joshua is working on a whole different tier. He's sharp, calculated, and hits with explosive power that flips a fight in seconds. He's forged by years of elite experience, and that shows in every step, every feint, every punch he throws. This isn't just about muscle, it's about timing, control, and patience under fire, and that's why the gap here is massive. For Logan Paul to step into that ring would be walking straight into real danger. Not movie style, not scripted, but raw, unpredictable danger where one wrong move can change everything. Fans can argue hype, break down clips, or dream up miracle scenarios all day, but the truth doesn't bend. Anthony Joshua has proven over and over that he dismantles opponents with surgical precision and terrifying power. There's zero space for theatrics or internet hype in that kind of ring. Calling out a prime, elite heavyweight like AJ isn't courage. It's an extreme gamble with consequences that could hit way beyond the cameras. This isn't about fame anymore. It's about safety, skill, and respect for what real fighters endure every single time they step through those ropes. So now it's over to you. Could Logan Paul actually pull off the impossible, or is this call-out pure fantasy dressed up for clicks? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's settle this one once and for all. And hey, if you're locked into the drama, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment. We're bringing every twist, every hot take, and every wild moment straight to you.